Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world.
Ooh, and it's a spooky one this
It
week.
is a George Spooky
Oh,
one.
it's a Spooner one, sorry, so I'm confused.
It is George Spooner. It is episode 4. And do you want to know what's been happening so far?
Yes, please.
Well, George Spooner, rich bloke, nothing to do, been stalking people to France because they're wearing white. That's basically where we're up to. But he took a little break from his tale of stalking to give us his backstory.
Ooh.
That's where we left him at the end of the last episode. Brilliant. Because, of course, he's not just rich. He is what we might call new money, or, to put it another way, he is, of course, a parvenu. And as we know, he's idle. He doesn't have a lot to occupy his time.
Yeah.
Or to put it another way, he's got now to do. Right?
Yeah.
He's a parvenu now to do.
Now to do.
Right. But we didn't know where he got his money from until he started telling us that he was a coal miner. He grew up in Coalville. He was a coal miner like everyone else who grew up in Coalville, including me and you. Yeah. And one day, when he was down the mine, he found a diamond because Superman had been there recently crushing coal into diamonds.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And he read a penny dreadful story that basically told him that there's a little known law that says if you discover diamonds in a mine that belongs to someone else, on land that belongs to someone else, the law just read it's looking after you. It's looking after the poor person, as the law is so famous for doing. Certainly not like written by and looking after landowners. It's like, oh, you found it, you get half. Half the diamonds are yours.
Beautiful.
I saw that the family were well tended to and moved down to London to pursue my dream of becoming the world's greatest actor.
Oh, I mean, he could have become the artist now if he wanted to, couldn't he?
Yeah,
I mean, he wanted to be an
I could
artist.
afford pencils.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I moved to Paris and bought myself a pencil. Unfortunately, I couldn't draw, so I decided to become an actor instead. Unfortunately, it transpired that I couldn't act. He's not bothering to learn this one. He's just like, I couldn't afford to go to college to learn to draw, but everyone can act. Come on. That's just a natural talent that people have. Oh, I can't do it. I must not be suited. So, unfortunately, it transpired that I couldn't act. Oh, certainly I could speak, and this is 50% of the battle. But emoting did not come easy to me. I tell you what, I think I'm performing this character well because he's not very emotive, is he, in my performance? And that's not me being rubbish. That's me understanding the character well because he doesn't. That's his personality. He doesn't emote well. It doesn't come easy to him. Shouting, yes, but imbuing said shout with that oh-so magical ingredient they call feeling was quite beyond my reach. I momentarily toyed with the idea of becoming a producer, but every producer I met advised me against it. Yeah, because they don't want the competition, right? I mean, that is like, no, you don't want to take up my job because there's less money for me. Old Mandrake Papasney.
Wow.
Old Mandrake Papasney, Papasney, Pappasnee. What do you reckon? Papasney?
Papasney.
Mandrake Papasney. Old Mandrake Papasney took me aside and said, "Boy, if you want to earn £1,000 from a play, it's easy. You spend 5,000. Now, I am no business mogul. I am not even a mathematician of any consequence. But even I saw the flaw in this enterprise."
Yes.
I like this character, which is good because it's in first person. And it'd be awful to read something in first person if you don't like the character, but I'm enjoying him a lot. I like the voice. I like the style. It's especially for a first draft. It's actually very good.
Good, because you're going to do the second draft and then we'll publish it, right?
Oh shit. Yeah, no, it's good. It was enjoyable. It's it's got a real kind of. It's impressive for a first draft to have such a strong style and voice to it, I think. It's difficult to make fun of it though, but I'm enjoying it anyway. I think it's okay. Like hopefully we're getting a few good jokes in here and there, and everyone's just sitting back and enjoying the story.
Well, we did say we were going to learn to become better writers throughout the process of the worst writer in the world. We'll just start changing the name of the show eventually to the best writers in the world. Maybe more people would listen to it then. They'd be like,
maybe it's not
this
rubbish.
sounds much better. What a great show about really good writers rather than shit ones.
Yeah. So I returned instead to my first love, art.
Ooh.
Though aware now, as a well-balanced young adult, that I was fundamentally a talentless oik who had simply had some very good luck, I did not enroll in college. I did not move to Paris. I did not buy an easel, canvas, and oils. In short, I did not waste my time painting. I didn't even try. It sounds like he's never painted, right? It's just like, I wanted to become an artist, but I couldn't afford pencils or Paris. And so I didn't even pick up a stone and try and draw on the street.
Yeah, I just went around saying, I did that. See that painting there? That's one of mine, that is.
Yeah, I spent the days hanging out in the National Gallery, pointing at paintings and claiming to have done them. Yes, that's one of mine. Yes, it may say it's 500 years old, but I did it.
Look, I just wrote my name on it. That proves it.
I signed it. I did not waste my time painting. Fuck, okay, so we were joking, but that's basically what he's doing.
Oh, right. Well,
Instead, I toddled over to Christie's and bought a bunch of paintings which hang now on the walls of my gallery in my townhouse, growing older and increasing in price. Now, he's not claiming to have painted them, though. He's not assigned them. They call this profession art collector, and as there are no special requirements beyond having more money than sense, I am pleased to say I had finally found a career I was qualified for. Say what you like about George Spooner, and people often did, but for all my faults, it has to be said, the ladies were taken by me. Shit.
Because he's rich.
Yeah, no, because he's a kidnapper. Say what you like about George Spooner, and people often did, but for all my faults, it has to be said that the ladies were stalked to France by me. It's like, yes, we know that, George.
The ladies were taken by me and placed in a cell by me, and then denied food and water by me.
Casting myself as an unbiased observer, I find it impossible to say what it was exactly about me that made me so alluring. But I have a suspicion it's my big pile of money that I carry around on a little trolley with me. I'm always pulling a little trolley full of gold around, just so everyone knows how rich I am. And I think some ladies, not all of them,
he's still
some
got
ladies
one of
like
the
that.
one of the carts from the coal mine with a load of diamonds in it.
Yeah. True, my face was pleasing. My eyes were perfect blues, and teeth were manufactured in America. But women are far more discerning than men, so it would be a folly to assume they were interested in my looks. Because all women are the same, and they're all clever. They're not shallow, not a single shallow woman in the world who might be interested in a rich, good-looking man. They don't exist. I was, of course, often being followed around by straight men who wanted to marry me. No, it would be a folly to assume they were interested in my looks. No, my looks were, I suppose, the cherry on the Knickerbocker glory. Which, if you are unfamiliar with, I urge you to try at the first available opportunity. Was it my easy movement, my laugh? Were they intrigued by that slightest hint of accent I'd never shaken off? Women aren't shallow enough to just go on appearance. Maybe they fancied me because of the way I laugh, or my accent, or the way I move.
Yes, sometimes I would say, I just went in me garage, and now I'm going oop-recky. And they would like, ooh, so sexy, George.
I'm going Dune the co-op.
The Quap. I'm going Dune the Quap.
Sometimes I think they liked the fact that I do something odd, like eat all the coasters. I can never reference that without laughing too much to be able to say it, because it's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
You said it. That's not a thing that happened.
It did happen. It definitely happened.
People didn't eat biscuits.
They did.
That's what happened.
They came round to your house and didn't know the difference between biscuit base and cork boards.
Yeah.
And therefore, it makes sense that they ate coasters. I'm glad that he says that he had a slightest hint of a Coville accent that he never shaken off, because that excuses any little chinks in my performance, doesn't it? So so they were intrigued by that slightest hint of accent I'd never shaken off, making me appear an exquisite foreign jewel, at once magnetic yet unfathomable. I should like to think it were all of these things that led me to fight the blighters off with a stick. But modesty prevails, and I feel certain the true reason is that they do not feel threatened by me.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this character is wrong. This character is wrong about this.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know how self-aware George Spooner is. So
we do. He has established very clearly that he is not very self-aware. I think that is in the story. Okay. That is in the story.
Yeah. So probably he isn't beating women off with a stick.
Yeah.
No women like him at all.
No, he just occasionally goes to parties and there are women there, and he's like, "Why are they all trying to have sex with me?"
It's just that they look at him really weird because they're scared of him, so he thinks they fancy him.
Yeah, because he just followed them home. Most eligible young chaps these days are so smart and smug, they are persistently engaging in witty repartee, the most of which goes right over my head, mixed with a heady dose of political debate, which goes left over my head. Right over my... Okay, so I'll try and do this joke as it's intended to be done. So, most eligible young chaps these days are so smart and smug, they are persistently engaging in witty repartee, the most of which goes right over my head, mixed with a heady dose of political debate, which goes left over my head. And frankly, women do not want such a partner. They want me with my Brillo jokes, with my amazing wordplay. Oh, did you know the jockeys say whoa? I wonder if they mean sadness.
Yeah.
They desire a simpler man, one they can mould as they see fit, not to be made to feel stupid. Women do not like to feel stupid. Having felt stupid a good deal of my life, I can sympathise with their dilemma.
So they like him because he's an idiot.
Well, yeah, what he's saying is that women are stupid, right?
Yeah.
But not as stupid as he is.
He is.
Having felt stupid a good deal of my life, I can sympathise with their dilemma. In my case, however, I have felt so stupid on many occasions, some of which have made it into print, that I have, in fact, built up an immunity to it, and I am pleased to say that I rarely feel stupid at all these days. And even these infrequent episodes are brief, as I find a quart of gin a fast and pleasurable antidote.
So people like circle him, go, "Stupid George Spooner," and he just gets drunk.
Give me the gin, quickly.
Now who's stupid?
Still you, but you're drunk and stupid, and if anything stupider. Yes, but I don't know it, do I? Whatever the reason, I was without unreasonable doubt a ladies' man, and this was proven once again when a knock came on my hotel door, and a squirrely-looking telegram boy was waiting. He had a big tail and 2 pointy teeth.
Yeah.
And was eating a nut.
I don't know why he thinks it proves it's a ladies' man when a boy arrives at his door. He's a boys' man, right? I'm a boys' man, and it was proven when a boy turned up to my room. "Come in," I said.
Well, he doesn't have a clue what's going on. I mean, it makes as much sense as anything else.
You seem quite squirrely. That means you like nuts. Would you like my nuts?
Makes me a ladies' man. Yeah, like he's all, he's looking at the world and he's like, I think that ladies like me and aren't scared of me because after I follow them home, I don't engage them in political debate, which therefore doesn't make them feel stupid like all other men do.
Yeah.
And therefore they all want to have sex with me, and the fact that they all run away and call the police on me is that's just playing hard to get. Also, what I also think is that when a boy comes to your door, that means you're a ladies' man. Because it's Shakespearean again, isn't it? Boys and ladies are the same thing.
Yeah.
And when you're a ladies' man, sometimes you accidentally attract boys and invite them in and have sex with them. George Spooner! He yelled enthusiastically in my face. Message for a George Spooner! It's probably French, eh? this message boy. Fuck it, that's that. He's on an exchange program.
And he probably stays at like an English-speaking hotel when he goes to Paris. Because he's George Spooner, I doubt he speaks French, he's stupid.
Yeah. At first, the mind boggled as to who knew I was here. Mm-hmm. Granted, I always stayed at the Line Hotel when in Paris.
Should be Le Line Hotel, shouldn't it? In Paris.
I always stayed at Le Line Hotel when in Paris, but I had informed nobody that I was leaving. On opening up the missive, it all became clear. Dear Mr. Spooner, I am frightfully sorry for my blunt treatment of you earlier. I realise, in hindsight, my attitude was most unladylike. And it was my fault that you stalked me from England to France. It was me. Sorry about making you stalk me. Okay, so my attitude was most unladylike, and I would be grateful if you would give me the opportunity of apologising in person by taking tea with me at the Line on the Rue de Line this afternoon at 3. That's a
Line o'clock.
A cafe.
Should be at 9 o'clock.
That's a cafe on a street, basically. At 3. Yours sincerely, Mary Darling Eversham. Well, the rabbit was doing the chasing.
Yes!
And what was I? A proud lion? Perhaps a little grand. A wily fox? Perhaps not. Whatever the case, this little lady was an animal lover. First a horse, and now me. Wow, what a lot to deal with in that bit. She had certainly taken my fancy, but I had promised myself that I would not get romantically entangled again after that business with the Honourable Marigold Cavendish.
Wow.
The Viscount and Viscountess had never approved of my background, and when our childishly romantic endeavours to elope to Gretna Green became a front-page news kidnapping story...
There we go. Kidnapping story. There it is.
Women are taken by me to Gretna Green to get married. Yeah. Suffice to say, the romance died on my part. Basically, when the news found out I'd kidnapped a woman, it just didn't feel so sexy anymore, and I let her go.
Yes.
And, what are we meant to read from this? Is it, obviously, his attitude, the narrator's attitude, is that he didn't kidnap her, he ran away to get married, they ran away together to get married.
Yes.
And the parents were all like, oh, he kidnapped our daughter. But we know he's an unreliable narrator. Yeah. So what actually happened, we don't know, right? I realised the telegram boy was still standing there, his eyes alert and nose twitching as though he could smell money. I dictated my response of an acceptance to Miss Darling's kind proposal, tipped him generously, and sent him on his merry, squirrely way. I added the word squirrely there. It doesn't say that. On his merry way. It was 9 now. Time for a spot of breakfast, some shopping, and a quick turn around the Louvre before heading off to meet my rabbit.
Things I've heard of in Paris. The Louvre.
Number 2. Breakfast.
Breakfast. Yeah.
Breakfast.
Yeah, they love breakfast, don't they?
Number 3, shopping. Okay. All right. Okay, I've got it. Okay, it was 9 now. Time for a spot of breakfast, some shopping, and a quick turn around the Louvre before heading off to meet my rabbit. Oh, rabbits. Number 4, rabbits. you enjoying this story, Howard? Because I am.
I think
Like it?
the vocal stylings of Rufus Penzance are fantastic.
I tell you what, this is. I've said before. I am as we go. I mean, we're still at the beginning of this story, but I really think you have found your style, like your. I think like I've said many times that because you like write so many different genres, so many different things. It feels like you never quite glommed onto the thing that you like and therefore are kind of really, really good at, you know. Mm-hmm. Whereas other writers, they'll just be like, I write detective stories, and then they write detective stories forever. Or I write romance, and they write that forever. But you're like, I write a detective story, then a romance, then Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It's just like, and you never take your time over anything. But this one, this feels like your thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think what you've always been moving, like what you always should have been doing, was writing about the parvenu with nowt to do. That's your thing. This is it, right? And therefore, I want you to carry on with this and write endless George Spooner books. I want a series. I want my shelves to have numbered George Spooner books.
Yes,
all signed by the writer. That's what I want, right?
Yeah. Hardbacks.
And do you know what gives us the opportunity to find things like this, to spend all this time writing loads of different things, recording things, and as you said, for me to be able to read it out loud and find a good voice for George Spooner that suits him and all that.
Yes.
Do you know what makes that possible? It is our supporters in the Secret Gang, people on Patreon, who
heroes, everyone
who give us money, yes. Right? Who give us money to live and stay alive.
Yes. They're like a bunch of Superman 3s coming down, squeezing some coal so that we can have cornflakes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they can only squeeze very, very small bits of coal. Like
squeeze a bit harder, please.
Bits of coal. What we need is more Supermen, really. That'd be good.
Yes,
if loads more Supermen came down the coal mine and squoze coal for us. Could you do that, please? But it's just, I just wanted to say thank you to the Secret Gang. You are the reason that we keep doing this kind of stuff.
Agree.
And consequently, we give them new stuff pretty much every week.
Yes.
Right, in the gang, exclusive stuff, as well as all this George Spooner guff. They get all the Secret Gang stuff as well. Like this week, they've had chapter 2 of Gret Binchleaf, Master of Disguises.
Ooh, and they really enjoyed it.
Talking of having a lot of books on your shelf, this is book 12 of the Gret Binchleaf saga, and they've already heard the first 11 books because they're all available to the Secret Gang.
Yeah.
And they did enjoy it, and I enjoyed it, and it was better than chapter 1, which I wrote. So let's get back to Howard's magnetic opal fruit, George Spooner, and the woman who loved a horse.
Hooray!
The weather was delightful. We were at the end of June. Then we've got a little note here that's in red, says Ladies' Day at Ascot, 20th of June. I don't know why.
Because there was something about Ascot at the beginning. That's where Lady Mary Fotherington Worthington, that's when she ran off with a horse, right?
This is the rabbit, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Okay, so because you've gone back in time to the 30s or whatever, you're telling me that ladies were only allowed to go to Ascot on one day?
Yes, exactly.
Really? Okay. So we were at the end of June, and summer had decided to start on time this year.
Nice.
A blessed relief after the previous year's catastrophic 3-day summer in August. So what you're saying is last year summer was rubbish and short, right?
Yeah. George Spooner likes good weather because then he can stalk people better. It's harder to stalk people when it's raining. They don't wear so much white.
I don't know though, but yeah, that might be true. But I feel I know from Minority Report that it's easier to hide from the police if you've got an umbrella.
Yeah, but it's also it's easier to hide from George Spooner if you've got an umbrella as well.
Stepping from the hotel, I breathed the Paris air, a mixture of culture and antiquated sewer system. Across the way, I spotted a vast fellow dressed quite inappropriately in a long dark trench coat and an oversized brown derby hat, which was pulled right down, casting a shadow over his eyes. I wasn't sure that sentence was ever going to end. I kept getting to a new clause and going, I haven't taken a breath. Oh shit, I wasn't ready for this long sentence.
Well, surprise, it's still not finished. His eyes, which which were blue in colour and big and round, and they were on his face, and his face had a mouth upon it too, and his nose.
And it looked like he'd recently had his eyes replaced by a very dirty doctor in a dirty room, and that doctor had left him a sandwich in the fridge, unfortunately, next to a mouldy sandwich, which he then found because he was blind. And he didn't have a sense of smell, so he ate it anyway, and then spat it out, and then some spiders got him.
Yeah, some spiders got him. Yeah.
Though I could not say for certain, he seemed to be staring directly at me. And for the second time, I felt suddenly self-conscious about my choice of clothing. Right, okay, so he is wearing white, and that's one of the kids he used to play with at school.
Yeah.
That'd be a good twist, right? Someone starts following him. He's like, it's Tarquin. Tarquin, we went to school together. Oh, we did go to school together, yes. Are you still playing the rabbit-chasing stalky game? Whatever we fucking call it. Yes, I am. Yes. Weird that two adult men are doing that. Do you think we might be stalkers? Yes, I think we might be stalkers, yes. Do you think we're just making excuses? Yes, I think we might be.
I played quite differently now I'm an adult. Once I've stalked you down an alleyway, I murder you and I cut your head off and I put it on my shelf with all the other heads.
No, I just need to go and change my clothes. Do you mind? Just going to put some black clothes on. In my defence, I had not packed for either Paris or good weather. But I was in Paris in good weather, and so I decided my first port of call would be the Line de Line. This is another place where you've just written lines. The Line de Line.
Oh, right.
A street of tailors, with a view to reinventing myself in something creamy, linen, and less orange. Of course, he's dressed in fucking orange and bright orange suit, isn't he?
Bright orange
he's
suit,
stalking
yeah.
people in his fluorescent
Yes.
fucking day glow suit.
Yeah.
I had worn my high vis suit to stalk people.
Yeah. Do you think it's glow in the dark as well then?
I fucking hope so. I was walking down the street in my lovely white dress, and a glowing man started following me. Heading into the 6th arrondissement, I took a walk down the Rue de Fromage. God, fuck. I wasn't expecting an actual name.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to lines.
But it sounds like I just made it up. I mean, even though you cut yourself off, sounds like I decided that there's a road called the Road the Cheese.
Yeah.
I took a walk down Road the Cheese.
Cheese shop, right? Because it's Rue de Fromagerie.
Ah.
So I think that is the cheese shop street.
Cheese shop street, yeah.
So, heading into the 6th arrondissement, I took a walk down the Rue de Fromagerie. The smell of the cheese was almost unbearable. Maybe he's just calling it that because there's a lot of cheese shops there. I mean, it wouldn't be called... Like, it's not called Cheese Shop Street when there are actual cheese shops there, right? It's not fucking like street nominative determinism. That's not a thing, right?
I don't know.
Fleet Street wasn't called Newspaper Street, right? Carnaby Street isn't called Clothes Street.
I mean, like, what came first, the cheese shops or the street? That's what you've got to ask yourself.
I feel like the street probably did. But no, maybe some like naturally occurring cheese shops that they built a street around, maybe. So yes, I took a walk down the Rue de Fromagerie. The smell of the cheese was almost unbearable in this sudden heatwave, and all the way there was the slapping sound of fly swatters. Just loads of people swatting flies.
It's sweaty cheese. Oh.
Cutting down line, I soon reached the Line de Line.
Yeah.
And so he cut down a street and reached another street. And... as was my custom, I flipped a coin to choose between my two favourite stores. Tails chose Boubier's. Tails chose
Willier's.
Boubier's. I decided to go to Boubier's and I headed inside to update my wardrobe because surprise, surprise, it's not a strip club. So I went into Booblier's.
You went to Boubier's. Because if it got heads, it would have been Bumbier's, wouldn't it? I would go to Bumbier's.
The contradictory feelings were always apparent on Monsieur Boubier's face when I dropped by. He liked my expensive tastes, but conversely, I was one of those Brits who hadn't bothered to learn the lingo. Thank goodness he's not, otherwise I'd have to speak in French. His English, likewise, was very poor, but he never left the country and reasoned why should he learn another language. As a result, our conversation was stilted, involved a good deal of mugging and pointing. Mugging. Give me all your me all your money, I said, pointing a gun at him.
Yes.
And pointing guns. No, mugging also means pulling faces, of course.
It does.
Involved a good deal of mugging and pointing, and full of the type of misunderstandings one normally only finds in the theatre, in one of those plays where a man has, for no discernibly good reason, dressed up as a lady, and they are all staying in a house with too many doors.
Wow, that's quite specific.
Quite a sentence as well.
Yeah, but there are quite a lot of plays like that. I mean, he's got a good point.
For future reference, you would be wise not to have a conversation with a Frenchman.
Great.
No, there is more. There is more. You would be wise not to have a conversation with a Frenchman about how many boats he owns. Right, thanks, George. Thanks, George. We're going to make a note of that. Should you meet a Frenchman, don't ask him how many boats he owns.
This is a French pun coming headed straight in your direction.
Is it?
Do I qualify
Oh, no.
it, or do I explain what it is, or do I just leave it to the imagination?
It doesn't look...
So it's a joke for people that are familiar with French numbers. Then
Go on, tell me, what's the joke? What's the joke?
well, you can count to 5, right?
1, 2, 3, 4,
In
5,
French.
yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay,
Cinq,
so
yeah,
it's
there you go.
cinq. Is that it? Is that it?
Sank boats.
So if I own sank boats, right? Frenchman says, hello, well, I'm French, I own sank boats. Right? You're like, oh no.
no.
What a faux pas. Oh, what a faux pas. What a faux pas I have committed. Yeah. And also, isn't it strange how in my sentence I used more French words than that Frenchman did in his when he said I own sank boats. Wow, that's quite a weak pun. It's good that you didn't draw attention to that. And just leave it as a little moment of surrealism for the reader.
Well, if it's for people to make people feel clever about themselves, isn't it? But if I'd had kind of gone on and actually said the sank boat joke, then it's just a bad joke. But people that don't realise it's a bad joke and go like, oh, I got that, I know what that means. They're like, oh, I feel so clever now because I know what that means. But you're not clever.
But I now know what it means, and I feel.
But you didn't know because you're stupid because you couldn't even figure it out.
But in a way, that makes me feel clever.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the listeners should understand this about Rufus Penzance, that we both did French at GCSE, and one of the things we had to do was write 10 things you would find in a zoo, and he put de pan and fromage.
I ran out after 3. Like I did dog and cat, obviously.
Yeah,
I did dog and cat. And I did l'elephant, right?
Yeah.
I did l'elephant, obviously.
L'elephant, le
and
crocodile.
Then I ran out. I didn't do le crocodile. I did dog, cat, and l'elephant. And then I ran out, so I just started writing French words and hope. Because
the only 2 he knew, yeah.
In English, sometimes we use the same word for more than one thing.
Yes.
Like tiger is a type of bread.
That's true.
For example.
So that's the bread you were referring to tiger bread when you said de pan.
No, because I don't think tiger bread was a thing back then.
Oh, okay.
But now it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Because actually I was trying to do tiger bread, but I left out the tiger bit, which is maybe the wrong choice of 2 words.
Yeah. Just leave out the bread in future.
I should have cheated better at that, because French animals are just the same, but with French spelling, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I bet tiger's got to be tigre, right? It's just be tigre. Surely.
Yeah, probably. I don't know whether we knew that or thought that kind of thing back then, though.
Maybe we hadn't worked out that French is just a cheat language.
Lippo. Lippo.
Yeah. I mean, you do that 10 times, you're going to get a few right.
Yeah.
Like lion is lion.
Yeah, a good one, yeah.
Easy, just keep doing that until you get a few right.
But
I mean, l'alligator is definitely right?
Le iron is the lion, but I mean, un iron is a lion, of course.
Yeah, it's what you make lions flat with. Un iron. Okay, so I did fail French, or did I? Did I get an E in French? I got an E or an F. I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
I either failed or did as badly as you possibly can without failing. One of the 2.
Yeah, I think I got an E.
You got an E as well.
I got an E. I mean, yeah, I don't even know what I put was in the zoo. I probably just stopped.
Le cages, le humans, le hot dogs,
Yeah. I feel like le oiseau and le oiseau.
What's le oiseau?
Le oiseau? I think a oiseau is a bird, right?
Is it? Okay. Do you know what that is in English?
What, bird? Yeah, it's one of those things that flaps around.
Oh, no, l'oiseau is just the word for bird, not for a specific type of bird.
I think it's just bird, yeah. Oiseau. I'm probably wrong.
I mean, we're very likely to both be wrong about French.
Yeah.
I think it's not our strong language, is it? It's not our strongest language.
No. I feel like I'd be more amused about the word oiseau when I was younger.
Yeah,
It seems like,
definitely.
I don't know.
You seem to have remembered it, and maybe that's why. Maybe
Yeah.
when we were young, we thought that was hilarious, and
Yeah.
then therefore it stuck in your mind. Shall we find out? I will search what is French. I'll carry on for bird. Oiseau.
Yeah, lovely.
You're right.
Brilliant.
It's spelled Oiseau, but that's definitely pronounced oiseau, isn't
Oiseau.
it? Especially if you're English.
Où est le oiseau? Le oiseau est dans le poche.
Please get that bird out of your pocket. Please take the bird out of your pocket. It is not appropriate. Let's not forget. For future reference, you would be wise not to have a conversation with a Frenchman about how many boats he owns, because of puns to do with the number 5, which is sank in French. It's not sank, though, is it? It's sank, right? It's not pronounced. No, like French people don't say sank. Then it's like, right? It is not. Ah, un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq. Sank. That's Coville. That's a Coville accent.
Yeah, that's all right. But
Right?
I mean,
That's
like,
French
anything you
with
do
a
in
covert.
French, they do it in a weird kind of like way, don't they? I mean, so
What this should say. Let's get this right. So for future reference, you would be wise not to have a conversation with a Frenchman who has a Coville accent about how many boats he owns when you are speaking partly in French but mostly in English. Particularly if you're using the numbers in French but doing everything else in English, then it might be confusing. Because if by some surprising miracle he owns 5 boats, which, let's be honest, who owns 5 boats? Very few people. But let's say you're chatting to a Frenchman with a Coville accent in mostly English except for the numbers, and he says he owns sank boats. What then, eh? Actually, I'll tell you what, just to be nice to you, to past you for a moment, it may seem foolish to say, like, someone is speaking, like a French person is speaking English, but just doing the numbers in French. But that's actually quite a normal thing that people do when they speak a language pretty well. Like, I teach quite high-level students most of the time, and when they have to count things, they just tend to switch into their first language, and I have to kind of tell them not to do that because they never practice numbers, and they get like they're really good at the language except numbers because they get this habit of just always counting in their own language.
Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't usually happen in a sentence. They don't usually go, do you want to know how many boats I own? I own sank boats. But like, when they're talking English and then they have to count something, they'll switch to do the counting kind of thing. So it's not a million miles away from something that could happen, but it is. Anyway, I took a plane home after that particular chinwag. Oh God, this joke's continuing. So I took a plane home after that particular chinwag with the Frenchman with the Coville accent about how many boats he owns, and it wasn't until I was back home and idling in my bath that I realised there hadn't been a recent spate of boating tragedies.
Okay, good.
Monsieur Spooner, he uttered with a smile after he'd gotten over the initial shock. Ça va? Bonjour, Monsieur Boubier, I replied with my thickest accent. That's his thickest accent. Oui, I said, ça va. I was doing well. Puis-je vous aider?
Oh, no.
I assumed he was asking me what I wanted and forged on with a phrase I had constructed on the ferry over. I like that because that is someone struggling with a language. Like, yeah, spend a couple hours beforehand trying to put a sentence together and then memorising it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure I told you about doing that myself in France as a kid.
Maybe.
No? When I was 10 or 11, because it was primary school, I believe, we went to France for like several days. And one day we went to Paris and it rained. It was very rainy in Paris. And I think that was the first time I ever went to Paris. And while we were there, we went to the post office to send postcards back to our families because we were kids and you have to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And anyway, so in the queue, I was working this out. I was like working out how do I say I want to buy this many stamps of this class or this price or whatever it was. And I'd got it all worked out. And I went up and I did my sentence. I was like, je voudrais some stamps. First, premier classio, I don't know.
Sank stamps, s'il vous plaît. And they're like, oh no, his stamps have gone underwater.
Has lost his stamps like a boat. Oh, lucky he's not saying sank boats, otherwise it would be worse. I went up, I did my sentence, and the woman behind the counter looked at me and said, would it be easier if we spoke in English? Because she didn't just speak English, she was English.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I feel like it's her fault that I was so bad at French. It didn't encourage me to try. So I forged on with a phrase I had constructed on the ferry over. Je voudrais un costume pour le soleil, s'il vous plaît. Ah oui, Paulette, he said. Paulette. I nodded compassionately and patted him on the shoulder. Patronising English fucker that I am. It seemed the sensible thing to do. I had an inkling that he was ill, but he could just as well have been offering me tea. So he's trying to work out what this guy's saying. He's got no idea. And he's like, either he's unwell or he's offering me tea. Pat, pat, pat. That's a reasonable response to both of those. Accordingly, I had found nodding to be the best approach and would only break out the headshakes when faced with a threat to my life or Paisley. A relatively painless time passed in which Mr. Boubier showed me some
easily
lovely.
Amused. He sees the word boob and he's off.
It's the Boubier. I like his name. I like the fact his name's Boubier. Showed me some lovely summery attire, and I congratulated myself on the foresight of preparing my request in advance. I settled on a pale blue linen number with brown embroidered collars, tipped generously, and wore the thing out, bidding the old man adieu, and hoping that was the correct language. That's a good joke.
Because I don't know if it is. I'm thinking about it. I have fucking no idea what that means.
But no, I like that line. That's a good joke.
Yeah, you like that one? Yeah, you prefer that one to the boat joke about how many boats a French person has joke?
In terms of French language jokes, that one is definitely better because I like that. Like he's just using a word that people do use in English. And as you know, like we weren't sure what language it was from. I feel like that's a real kind of relatable moment. Whereas sank boats takes work, and even if you do work it out, you feel unsatisfied at the end.
Good T-shirt though. Yeah, how many boats have you got? Sank boats. Oh no! Quickly call the Royal Life. What they called? National Life Service. What they called? The
Call the National Life Service. Hello, is that National Life Service? I appear to be dead. Could you bring me some life, please? How did you die? Well, because I owned 5 boats. It's a real tragic story of me foolishly buying 5 boats from a Frenchman and then being dead. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you want more stuff by us, then go to patreon.com/manbycow and get it. Bye bye milk.
Bye bye milk.
Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.